everyone, it's Janet and welcome to my channel. Well, today I'm here for Bitten by the Bug 2 challenge blog, where we are posting a 2-week challenge for anything but a card. And of course, since it's July, I figured I would do a Christmas in July project. This design is by Tina Fitch of the UK, and I will put her link to this pattern in my video description. But this is a beautiful pattern for a Tealight angel table decoration. As per the rules for Bitten by the Bug 2, this project needs to be cut with a Cricut machine, and that is exactly what I used, my Cricut Explorer. So let's get started. Alright, so here are all the pieces to this angel. First of all, we've got 3 wings that look a lot like butterflies. We have a large, a medium, and a small. And then we've got the angel body, and this is made so that when you put them back to back, you will see the pretty silver paper on each side of the angel. This is a 3D item, so it's meant to be seen on both sides or really all around. Now I will tell you, in the pattern when you bring it in, you may need to flip over one of these figures so that when you put them back to back, you have your pretty paper showing on the outside. My paper is not the same on both sides. I got plain gray on one side and the silver on another, and so that requires me to flip one over so that I can have the silver on both sides. And then we have 18 of these triangle pieces, and they have this circle or hole in the center, and this is where your tea light candle is going to go, and it's made just to fit perfectly inside of that. So let's put all these pieces aside now, except for these 18 triangle pieces, and I'll show you what we need to do there. Now each piece, as I mentioned, has this hole in the center, and what we're going to do is fold these in half and glue them to each other on the wrong side of the cardstock. So we have the pretty glitter paper on the one side and plain cardstock on the other. So you get a 3D skirt-like appearance by folding these in half and again gluing them together. And then this will leave a big enough hole in the center to place our tea light candle when we're done. So now each of these has to be folded in half, and you'll want to fold it so that the glitterized piece is on the inside and the plain cardstock is on the outside. Because again, we're going to glue the pieces together on the plain side. And there's already some score lines put in by the pattern with your machine, but I didn't really like the fact I couldn't get a good point on the top, and so since all these points are going to come together, I decided that I would make sure to get that point better by using my scoreboard. So let me show you what I did with that. Okay, this is my score pal, and there are marks here that help you guide where you want your score line to be, and it worked well for both the top and the bottom of this particular piece to make sure I was in the center. So I just used my tool here to better indent those score marks that were already made by the machine. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold it, being careful to try to get them as even as possible on each side. Because again, these are going to be glued together, so the better we have them as far as being even, the better the result will be when we get them all together. So let me take my scoreboard out here and show you how these two pieces, the one I folded by hand first and the second piece, will go together. So I'll put the wrong side of the cardstock to the wrong side of the next piece and glue them together, and this is going to start forming the skirt, so one after another. So I'll end up with 2 half skirts of 8 pieces each, and then when that's done, I'll have the ability to sandwich the figure of the angel in between, and that'll then create the whole silhouette of the angel standing with her dress and her wings. And you can see how that's already forming the skirt with just 2 of the pieces together. Okay, so now I've folded all 16 pieces, so I should have 8 in each stack. There's 2, 4, 6, and 8, so that'll leave 8 for the other side. And then I'll work on each of these 1/2 at a time so that I end up with 2 half skirts like I was mentioning earlier. So let's get gluing. I've got 2 of these triangle pieces folded in half, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue to apply glue again to the wrong side of one of these triangles, but just to the half. And then I'm going to apply the second triangle on top of that. Again, wrong sides to wrong sides. And this is what's going to build this skirt up one piece at a time. Now you'll definitely want a glue that you'll have some control over to apply very thin strips of it. Glitter glue is great for that, but you can also buy your own little bottles and put any kind of glue in that you like to work with for paper. But it does need to have some good control because these are small pieces and you don't want it all globbing out. Now the great thing about glitter glue too is that it dries clear, so even if some does show, it's not going to be a big deal, and that's one of the main reasons I use it. Plus the hold's fantastic. So you can see I've taken the one triangle and put it on top of the glued section that I did of the previous triangle, and then I'm just moving things around to make sure that my diamonds here match up correctly and that my scallops here on the sides and the bottom of the tree, or that skirt actually, match up nicely. And you'll want to do that with each of these pieces so that in the end you have a nice even application. Now here I'm going to show you the next one. Same idea. I'm just putting the art glitter glue all around on all the different little loops and sections of this half triangle. And I apologize for being a little shaky. When I filmed this, I had just had too much coffee and not enough food, and I was kind of shaky. So sorry about that. I gotta have my coffee, but sometimes I forget to eat a little along with it. Maybe some of you do that too, I don't know. But in any case, I get all that glue applied, and then again taking one of the other triangles and applying it wrong side to wrong side. We'll match the edges as well as I can, as well as matching up those diamonds. Okay, I've sped ahead a little bit, and now I've got 6 of the pieces together, and I'm just making sure those points are nice up there, and you can see how this is really forming a nice skirt. And I've got a couple pieces yet to go to make the first half. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back when I have both halves done. So here are the 2 sections of 8 that I've now glued together, and it's fairly flat at this point because I'm going to sandwich my angel figure in between these. But before I can do that, I need to put the 2 angel pieces together, and to do that I'm going to apply the glitter glue to the wrong side of one of these angel pieces, and then I will go ahead and attach the other so that again it's wrong side to wrong side of these 2 pieces. And that way I get both sides having this pretty silver finish to it. I'll grab the art glitter glue again and apply some to the wrong side where we've got 2 wrong sides showing, because this is where the 2 pieces, the left and the right of the skirt, are going to go together. And you can see that I can just sandwich the angel figure in there. Make sure that's very secure. And now I can apply the art glitter glue again to the wrong side of the second half, and just be very careful that you apply it to the wrong side. If you're working with white like this, you could, by working too fast, put the glue on the wrong side, but you want it again on the non-finished side of your cardstock. So in my case, where there is not glitter. So now I've got it attached at the top, and I'll now need to attach the 2 pieces in the center. So this is the trickiest part of the whole thing. I think I need to get the glue on one side of the half that we've sandwiched together here so that the 2 sides will actually be glued together. Alright, so I'm going to pull it and move it, and eventually I will get my fingers where I feel comfortable, and then I'll start applying glue to one side of the skirt that I made earlier. So again, this is where the 2 halves go together to form the full entire skirt. And I will just go ahead and apply the glitter glue on everything that I can get my tip into. And then I'll be able to sandwich it together. I think that I found a little bit more that I wanted to put glue on. There we go. So it might take you moving it around a little bit here and there to get a good application of glue in there. As long as the figure is glued in really well, you can be fairly rough with the rest of the skirt. You just don't want to do that before the glue has set well, and or not rough enough that it would actually tear the top of the skirt area from the figure that you've just glued in. All right, so I moved all the way to the other side of where the two halves meet. And again, applying glue carefully and in as much of the non-glitterized space of that cardstock that I can get my tip into. Here's a perfect example again of why you really want to make sure to have a glue where you can have some control over the tip and where you're putting it and how much you're putting in it, so that you don't end up with a great big old mess. Now I think that this angel would look good in different colors. I'm thinking I'm going to do maybe a pale blue glitter version and maybe also a pale pink. I think they'd be very pretty together. In fact, I may end up with 3 pretty little angels in those 3 colors: white, light blue, and light pink, almost like a blush pink. And those 3 together would look very nice on my table or even on my mantle this year. Now, I'll be honest, I was kind of thinking about making these as items to sell at my church craft fair this fall, but I think I've decided it's a little bit too much time to make these, and also they're a little delicate. They're great for, what you're going to use them in your own home setting, but I think taking them somewhere and then selling them and then the buyer taking them home could be a little bit rough and may end up harming these little angels. So I think it's best to just make these for home and maybe for a gift for a coworker or something like that. So now you can see how wonderful this skirt sets up and how she's all pretty, and that hole is there just right for us to sneak the little candle in, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. But first we have to put on her wings. So again, here's this large butterfly wing, and it's got tabs in here, 1 on each side. It's the only one of the 3 pieces that have these tabs, and that's because when it's done, it's going to attach to the body just like that. And then next is the middle-sized or the medium-sized wing, and I will fold that in half too. Again, it's scored nicely for you, so it should be easy to fold. And then that is going to sit on top of the largest wing, kind of centered. Each of these wings have a body in the center like a butterfly, and each of the center bodies, if you will, is a little shorter because the butterfly itself or the wing is shorter. So what I did was just centered each of those tabs, 1 on top of each other. And you can see how this is going to go together and how pretty it's going to be when all 3 pieces are attached. I decided to glue the 3 wings together before I attached the wings to the body of the angel. I just think that was easier and gave me more room to work in and not worry about hurting the angel body or anything like that. So I sandwiched the large and the medium size together. Now I put it so that the large glitter part was on the outside, whereas the small and the medium wings I folded so that the glitter side is to the glitter side. And that way when you look at the back of her, you're going to see the 2 glittered wings, the medium and small. But if you look to the side of her, you will see the glittered side of the large wing. I hope that makes sense. The idea here was so that your eye would see as much as the glittered parts of these wings than the plain unglittered side. And I did move a little too fast here, and because of that my glue hadn't set all the way. But that was easy enough to fix. Just held it together for a little bit longer, and then it was ready to go. Now I'm putting some glue on those little tabs that were attached to the largest of the wings, and now I'll go ahead and attach that to the back of my angel piece. Now you're going to see that I'm going to get some glue on that pretty silver paper, but it's not going to matter because all that's going to be covered up by some flowers and things, other decorations that I'm going to put on my angel. However, if you were going to make it without adding additional decorations, just to keep it neat, I would recommend you put the tabs in between the 2 angel figures when you're sandwiching them together so that those tabs are in between and don't show like they do in this version. But you can see now as it's sticking well that I can spread out the wings, and it really is pretty. Now, if you didn't use glue here, you could also use hot glue. That would also stick very well, I think, together. I just try to avoid my hot glue gun as much as possible, so I stick with the glue. But I do take it out to decorate with, so I could have done that here. And now I can add my decoration, so let's go do that next. So this angel's really pretty all by itself, but I wanted to dress her up just a little bit more. So I have 5 Foamiran flowers that I'm going to attach, as well as some greenery. These are just 2 little doodads that I'm going to add to the side and going up the top of her figure. And then I'll add the roses on top of that to give it a more full look altogether. So this is the Foamiran rose that I made on another video. It's the very first one I made, and I think it turned out pretty nicely. But I thought it would be great on this little angel, and I made a few more. So as I think I said earlier, I have 5 roses in total of different sizes, and on this one I'm going to put the biggest one and my smallest one. It's almost like a bud. With the Foamiran, you really have to use a glue gun because regular glue just doesn't seem to stick. So I have to get over my glue gun phobia to get these roses on my angel. I don't know why, I just really dislike using the glue gun. But anyway, personal preferences, right? So she looks pretty nice. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'll speed this up a little bit so that you can see it go together. While this is going on, I'm just going to tell you that the glitter cardstock I used in this project was the Coordinations brand, and it's called White Glove. It cuts super nicely. Even these very delicate cuts for the skirt and the wings cut without any problems at all. So I'd highly recommend it. I was able to get 8 pieces for the skirt on 1 page, so I used 2 pages of cardstock for that, plus a half for the wings and then a quarter for the body. So all in all, pretty economical to make this. Now here's where I'm going to show you inserting the Tealight candle. This is just a Tealight candle from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to insert it in there and then rearrange the skirt pieces around that Tealight candle. And this is what gives it the stability to hold the candle and light her up so prettily. She is just beautiful, I think. I'm really happy with this project and I intend to make some more. This is a photo of it with the light off, and then here's a close-up of her wings. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. I've included some links here to additional projects that I think you might be interested in if you like this one. And please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That helps me a great deal to make more videos for you. So thank you again, and I'll see you soon. Until then, keep crafting. Bye.